Hey everyone, it's Jacob here, back in this another video. So for today's video, I think I'm going to be doing another tier list ranking video. First of all, before I actually get into the actual topic of the video, I wanted to say, I know it's been a little while since I've made since last time I made a video. It's been like a little over a week since last time I made a video. I'm sorry about that. The reason for that is, I think I've said this in some videos before, but I usually only like making YouTube videos when, either when I'm home alone or when only my mom is here, um, because usually I don't like making videos while my dad is here because usually he's in his office in his room. I don't know if he's gonna like come out of his office while I'm making a video, but so yeah, but um, so my dad hasn't like been getting out of the house lately. That's kind of why I haven't been making videos lately because he's been here. I don't like making videos while my dad's here. But anyways, I just wanted to explain that. But anyways, so as you can see for today's video, this tier list ranking video is I'm going to be ranking every episode of Lab Rats. As you can see, there's a Lab Rats episode, seasons 1 through 4, tier list maker. So yeah, I decided to rank every episode of Lab Rats because, well, one, because today is Thursday, and Thursday is commonly referred to as Throwback Thursday, which throwback means like nostalgia and old stuff, classic stuff like that. But also another reason I wanted to rank the Lab Rats episodes is because I've actually been rewatching Lab Rats quite a bit lately. Lab Rats has always been one of my favorite childhood shows, one of my favorite Disney shows. It might even be the best Disney XD show, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. But yeah, Lab Rats just holds a special place in my heart. It's like a comfort show for me, basically. And yeah, so I'm going to ranking every episode. Every episode of the show is in this tier list. Actually, each of the pictures of each of the episodes is like the listings for each episode on Disney Plus. So yeah, that's what the pictures are. But yeah, anyways, we just have the standard tiers here: S, A, B, C, D, and F. And yeah. As always with these tier list ranking videos, I'm gonna try and I'm gonna try to like get through this kind of fast because I don't want this video to be too long. But usually my tier list ranking videos usually end up being like around 40 minutes long. But I'll try not to let this one be 40 minutes long. But yeah. And I also want to say over here to start, I want to say my favorite character is probably Leo. I just always really liked Leo. I think he's a really funny character. But then a close second for me is Douglas. I really like Douglas as well. And then I've always had a crush on Bree. I think Bree is like really cute and beautiful. Anyways, but yeah, I don't think I have anything else to say before we get started. So yeah, let's get started. So first of all, of course, you have Crush, Chop, and Burn, which is the pilot episode, the very first episode of the show. Was like a two-parter, hour-long special, whatever I want to call it. And yeah, I'm gonna put Crush, Chop, and Burn in S tier. I feel like it's too iconic of an episode. The very first episode, where we first learned about Henry and Chase, the Lab Rats, and stuff like that. And yeah, I just really like the pilot episodes going S tier there. I feel like that it doesn't really need too much of an explanation for that. Anyways, next up we have Commando App. Commando App was this was the episode where Chase's Commando App was introduced. Hence the name of yeah, that's not what I was going to say. Hence the name of the episode, Commando App. It's the episode where Chase's Commando App was introduced. Hence the name Commando App. Or the Commando App was more commonly known as Spike. But yeah, Commando App was a very good episode. I don't think I'm going to put an S here, but I'm going to put an A tier. I did quite like Commando App. That was a good episode. Next up, we have Leo's Jam. Oops, I sound like Red Rats on a Train. That's the next one after Leo's Jam. But next up, we have Leo's Jam. Leo's Jam was a pretty good episode, but not like really good in my opinion. But Leo's Jam is basically about like Leo wanting to ask a girl out to a dance, but he gets too nervous to ask the girl out, so he asks like I think he asks like Adam or Chase to ask the girl out for him, but then the girl ends up wanting to go out with Adam, Chase, and stuff. I'll put it in B tier because I thought it was like a solid episode. And, yeah. And next up we have Rats on a Train. This was a pretty iconic episode because this was the Lab Rats' first proper mission. So yeah, Rats on a Train was a pretty darn good episode. I think I'm also gonna put this one in A tier. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna rearrange the episodes. I don't think I'm gonna say like which episode I like more than like another episode. I don't think I'm gonna arrange the episodes like that. I think I'm just gonna put the episodes like in the tier that I want to put them in. I'm not gonna be like I think I like this episode more than this episode, but not more than this episode. I don't think I'm gonna do that just to save time. But yeah, Rats on a Train definitely going A tier. I quite like that episode. Next up we have Smart and Smarter. In this episode, Adam and Chase are basically like um, competing to see um, like like who the school likes better, like who can improve the school better, or something like that. It was an alright episode. I wasn't like a huge fan of this episode. Um, I don't think I want to put in C tier though, but I think I'll still put Smart and Smarter in B, but it's low B. It's like bordering on C, but I don't think it deserves to be in C. But yeah, Smart and Smart. I wasn't a huge fan of the episode, but I didn't hate it. It was pretty good, I guess. That's some funny moments in it. Next up, we have Exoskeleton versus Grandma. This is the first appearance of Leo's grandma. I think at the end of this episode, if I remember correctly, the grandma finds out that Amber and Chase have bionics and stuff. Um, this is a pretty good episode. I think this one also got an A tier. I quite liked Exoskeleton vs. Grandma. I thought it was a pretty good episode. Next one, we have Bionic Birthday Fail. Bionic Birthday Fail was about, it was like Leo's birthday in the episode, and Adam, Bree, and Chase decide to throw a surprise birthday party for Leo, but then they basically lock Leo in the lab while they're like setting up the birthday party. But then they kind of forget about Leo after the birthday party starts. They leave him locked in the lab while the birthday party is going on. They forget all about him. So they basically had a surprise birthday party for Leo without Leo, which is pretty funny. But yeah, I think I'm also gonna put Bionic Birthday Fail. I accidentally said Bionic Birthday Bail at first, but I say I think I'm also gonna put Bionic Birthday Fail in A tier. I quite like that episode as well. Death Spiral Smackdown. Death Spiral Smackdown was pretty good. Um, it was like about like this event that the school had with um, like the kids like fighting or something. Not really fighting, but yeah, it was pretty good. Um, I'm gonna go in B tier as well, I think. Um, and so we have Can I Borrow the Helicopter? Can I Borrow the Helicopter was about I think it was the very first. I think from remember quickly, this episode had the very first appearance of Janelle, who was a recurring character throughout the show. So Janelle was a girl that Leo had a huge crush on, and I didn't blame him. Janelle was pretty cute. Um, but yeah, Camera on the Helicopter was basically about Leo trying to impress Janelle. Um, I think I'm okay with playing this episode on C tier. Actually, I wasn't like huge in this episode. It was an alright episode in my opinion. So yeah, Back from the Future. This is the episode with Future Leo. Future Leo was actually played by Tyrell Jackson Williams, who plays Leo. Future Leo is actually played by Tyler James Williams, who's Tyrell Jackson Williams' older brother. This one I think I'll actually put in S tier. I really liked Back from the Future. I thought Back from the Future was a really good episode. And obviously that title, the title of the episode, Back from the Future, that's obviously supposed to be a parody of Back to the Future. So yeah. Um, so next up we have Chip Switch. Chip Switch was about the lab rats wanting to like try out each other's like bionics. So they decided to switch their chips and try each other's bionics, but that ends up not going so well. Leads to some antics and stuff. And Leo and Principal Perry get trapped in the elevator together, and Adam and Chase have to save them while they have each other's bionics and not their own bionics. Um, but yeah, Chip Switch was a pretty good episode. I quite like this episode. I think I'll put this one 8 here as well. Yeah, it's a pretty funny episode. I quite enjoyed that one. Drone Alone. Whoops. Didn't mean to put it there. Drone Alone was a pretty episode as well. This episode was about the kids being left home alone while Donald and Tasha went on a vacation. And some antics happened while they were left home alone and stuff. It's pretty good. This one also got an 8 here. I quite enjoyed that episode as well. Yeah, I thought that was that's so right there. I was gonna say I thought that one was pretty episode as well. I guess some of these episodes I can't really think of much to say about them, but yeah, I mean I guess that's kind of a good thing since because some episodes I might not have like as much to say about them, that might make this video like shorter. Because I might not have much to say about some episodes. But anyways, next we have Chore Wars. Chore Wars is about Adam, Ray, and Chase learning about chores and laundering money and stuff. It was an alright episode. I wasn't like a huge fan of this episode. I think this one will also go in C tier. I wasn't like a huge fan of Chore Wars, but it wasn't horrible. It wasn't a horrible episode. I'm not sure I'll put any episodes in like D or F. Maybe like 1 or 2 episodes, but the majority of episodes in Lab Rats I do quite enjoy. So I don't think there'll be very very many episodes at all that I'll put in like the lower tiers like D or F. But yeah, anyways, next will be a Dude, Where's My Lab? This one was when the whole family went on a vacation to the beach, but then the lab rats had a mission come up that they had to do while they're on vacation, in like a mobile lab and like a trailer RV that they brought. Dude, Where's My Lab was a pretty good episode. I enjoyed it, but I think I'm only gonna put in B tier. I didn't like thoroughly enjoy it, but it was a solid episode. I enjoyed it. I didn't like absolutely love it. So yeah, B tier for Dude, Where's My Lab? Next up we have Air Leo. Air Leo was an alright episode. It's about like Leo wanting to beat his rival or bully, whatever you want to call him, Trent in a basketball game. It was alright. I'll put in C tier. Yeah, don't really have much to say about that episode. I think I think now that I think about it, I think like the episodes that like centered like all around the school, like the episodes that are like just all about the school that like only took place in the school. I don't enjoy those episodes as much. I kind of felt like the school centric episodes weren't as good, in my opinion. But yeah, that's just my opinion. Anyways, next we have Night of the Living Virus. This is kind of a Halloween themed episode. It's about like Eddie turning evil. He turned into an evil version of himself called Teddy. Eddie was like a smart home system, and like the Davenport's home, by the way. But yeah, Eddie turned into an evil version of himself named Teddy in this episode. I liked this episode. Yeah, I'll put this episode in the A tier. I quite enjoyed that episode. It was a good episode. Mission Invisible is next. This episode is about Avery and Chase using their bionics at school because a thing was like falling from the ceiling. I think it was like a big air conditioner thing, or like a big fan or something like that, like fell from the ceiling. And they had to use their bionics to like catch it. Then they realized that they got caught on camera, and they basically had to like stop Principal Perry from looking at the footage, so that she doesn't see them using their bionics. Mission Invisible, I think B tier is good for Mission Invisible, where I just put it. Mission Invisible is pretty good, but not really good in my opinion. It was a pretty episode, so yeah. So we're getting down to the end of season 1 here. Only a couple episodes left in season 1 here. So this next episode, Constantine Can, actually kind of starts the main story of the show, because this episode introduces the first like villain basically in the show, Marcus. So yeah, basically right when Leo first met, basically Adam and Chase became friends with this new kid in school named Marcus, and Leo basically immediately feels like something's up with Marcus. Like Leo feels like something's not quite right with Marcus, and he ends up being right, which we'll get to in a little bit here. But yeah, Constantine the Can, I did enjoy this episode. I think this will actually be another A tier episode. I enjoyed that episode. So yeah. And so we have Mission Space. Marcus appeared in this episode as well. This is the season 1 finale episode. And in this episode actually introduced hidden abilities. Chase like discovered his first hidden ability in this episode, which was his molecular kinesis, which is where he can like move stuff with his mind. So yeah, and then after this, the other lab, right, like Bree and Chase discovered hidden abilities as well, and then Chase discovered a couple other hidden abilities after this. So yeah, this episode basically introduced hidden abilities. So yeah, and the hidden abilities basically appeared at random times, just like in random episodes. But yeah, Mission Space was a good episode, and also Marcus discovered the lab in this episode. But we later found out that it wasn't like a random discovery. Marcus like intentionally like went to the lab because another character that wasn't introduced at this point told Marcus to like find the lab. So yeah. I guess I just realized. I forgot to say at the beginning of this video, spoilers if you haven't seen Lab Rats, because I'll be talking about everything that happens in the show in this video. So spoilers if you haven't seen Lab Rats. I probably should have said that at the beginning of the video, but yeah. Anyways, Mission Space was another good episode. I'll put that on A tier as well. And yeah, so that was the end of season 1. So now I get to season 2. The first episode of season 2 is called Speed Trapped. This episode had yet another appearance of Marcus. And at the end of this episode, we actually found out that Marcus has bionics. He like showed his bionics to Leo, and he Marcus told Leo to keep his magic a secret, and he threatened to report Adam Green Chase to the police if Leo told Marcus, or if Leo told Adam Green Chase about Marcus's bionics. So yeah, this is a pretty good premiere episode. It's pretty suspenseful when Leo got trapped in the car because Marcus set the Davenport self-driving car to go to the bottom of the Pacific Ocean, I think it was. Or was it the Atlantic Ocean? I think it was the Pacific Ocean. Anyways, I might be wrong about that. I'm not sure. But at least Marcus broke into the self-driving car to go to the bottom of some sort of ocean. I might not remember the exact ocean it was. I think it was either the Pacific or Atlantic Ocean. But anyways, kind of rambling on about that. I think it was like taking a bit too long to talk about that. But anyways, but yeah, I think B is actually good for Speed Trap. Speed Trap was pretty good, but not like a really good episode. But yeah, so I'll go there. So next up, this is finally an episode without Marcus. There's like 3 episodes in a row that Marcus was in. But yeah, this next episode, yeah, that's a word. I was gonna say this next episode is Spy Fly. The second episode of season 2 is about a new invention that Davenport made called the Spy Fly. Hence the name of the episode, Spy Fly. And Leo basically uses the Spy Fly to cheat on a test at school because he spies on Bree's test with the Spy Fly. Spy Fly was an alright episode. I wasn't like a huge fan of it. Yeah, I think Spy Fly was good C tier. Spy Fly was like alright. Yeah. And then I just remember there's also a subplot in the Spy Fly episode with Adam and Chase. They had to like take care of fake babies for like a class for school, and they end up like basically damaging each other's babies. It wasn't that interesting of a subplot, but yeah, Spy Fly was a whole alright episode when C tier. Anyways, next we have Missing the Mission. In this episode, Adam Green and Chase are forced to like not go to a mission that they have because they're stuck at school. They get detention, so they get stuck in detention. I'll put this one B tier. It's a solid episode, and yeah, I enjoyed that episode. Quarantine is next. In this episode, Bree accidentally gets exposed to toxic chemicals, so she has to be like quarantined in the lab. But then she breaks out of the lab because she really wants to go to school and meet up with a boy she likes. I think Ethan was who it was that she likes. I think so. Anyway, if I remember correctly. But anyways, that might be a different one, but I'm not sure. Bree had a couple of like crushes and boyfriends and stuff throughout the show. Well, more than a couple, like a few, but you know what I mean. Anyways, but quarantined. I'll put this episode on B tier as well. It was pretty good. Yeah. Robot Fight Club. In this episode, Leon and Chase, they basically enter like a robot fighting competition and make their own robot to fight the other robots and stuff. This episode, this is not like alright episode in my opinion. I think I remember not being a huge fan of that episode. I feel like I've said I think I remember like that phrase quite a bit on this video. You might be thinking, you said you've been rewatching the Brides lately, but you're saying I think I remember, which implies that it's been a while since you've seen these episodes. Well, there's some episodes I've watched more recently than others. There's some episodes I spent a while since I've seen, so that's why I'm saying like I think I remember or so and so. But anyways, next up is Bro Down. In this episode, Adam gets injured and he basically like, quits the team because he basically like questions his strength since he gets injured and stuff. And in this episode, Bree actually discovers a hidden ability that she had, which was vocal manipulation, where she can basically manipulate her voice to sound like a bunch of other people's voices. Well, I think she can sound like any voice, basically, with her hidden ability that she found, her vocal manipulation. But anyways, Bro Down. Bro Down was a pretty episode. I'll probably put... actually... I think I'll quite enjoy Bro Down. I'll put an A tier. I might just be saying that because I haven't put an episode in A tier in a little while. And I just want to put an episode in A tier, but I did quite enjoy that episode. So, I'll go in A tier. The Rats Strike Back. This was an episode where Adam, Bree, Chase, and Leo went on strike because they wanted stuff that Davenport wasn't giving them. I don't remember specifically what they asked for. It's been a little while since I've seen this episode, but I think this one will also go in A tier, actually. I quite enjoyed that episode as well. Parallel Universe. I really enjoyed Parallel Universe. It's about like Leo accidentally like getting sucked into a machine that Davenport made. It basically like sent into a parallel universe, and yeah, I thought it was cool to see like a parallel universe in this episode. Actually, I put this one S tier. Actually, I really enjoyed Parallel Universe. I thought it was a really good episode. So yeah, that'll be an S tier episode. I really enjoyed the episode. Next up, we got Spike's Got Talent. This is the second appearance of Chase's Commando Lab, aka Spike. There's basically one episode in every season that was dedicated to like Spike, Chase's Commando Lab. There's one episode in every season now centered around Chase's Commando Lab, Spike. But Spike's Got Talent. It was like a solid episode. I'll put in B tier. It wasn't an amazing episode, but it was pretty good. Lee versus Evil. This episode features the return of Marcus after he wasn't in like the past few episodes. But in this episode, Leo basically discovers Marcus's secret evil lair, and he almost gets close to exposing Marcus's evil ways to bringing Chase and Davenport and stuff. But yeah, Lee versus Evil going 8 here. I enjoyed that episode. So yeah. So we have Hole in One. That's about Adam Bree, Chase, and Leo accidentally damage a $1 million painting or something like that Davenport made, or no, Davenport bought. He didn't actually make it. Actually, he didn't make the painting. He bought the painting. But Hole in One was a solid episode. I'll put this one in B tier. I thought it was pretty good, but not an amazing episode or anything. Trucked Out. This episode was about like Davenport or Donald, whatever I want to call him, buying Adam like a truck or something, like a monster truck. I wasn't like a huge fan of this episode. Yeah, I think this one also gone C tier. My episode was just alright. I wasn't a huge fan of that episode. The Bionic 500. This was an episode about Donald Davenport being in a race with like his neighbor or something, if I remember correctly. Yeah, that one also going C tier. I wasn't a huge fan of that episode either. Bionic Showdown. Bionic Showdown is like one of the best episodes of the show. This actually on the top of this year. I know I said it wasn't going to be like this episode during this episode, but I had to put Bionic Showdown on top of this year. Bionic Showdown is like one of the best episodes of the show. It might even be the best episode of the show. This episode is basically where you find out about Douglas. Douglas is the person that Marcus had been talking to, and a couple of scenes that we saw in past episodes. The mystery person that Marcus was talking to, and Douglas as basically revealed as Donald's brother, and the lab rat and Chase's real father. And yeah, so this is a big episode and some big reveals. And Marcus basically dies in this episode. He doesn't actually die because in this episode it's actually built on Marcus as an android. So yeah, he basically just like came apart because he got like smushed by like the ceiling coming down. In this episode, Adam actually discovered a hidden ability of his, blast wave ability, where he can basically like produce a big wave that like blasts and like yeah, pretty cool hidden ability. And yeah, and then Douglas ends up running away and disappearing towards the end of the episode. And yeah, Bionic Showdown was just an amazing episode all around. I love that episode. So we have Memory Wipe. Memory Wipe actually has some pretty fun moments in it because in this episode Davenport invents like a memory wiping device that like wipes a person's memory, and basically the kids accidentally erase too much of Davenport's memory, and he ends up acting like a kid and a teenager and stuff. It was pretty funny actually. I quite enjoyed this episode. I put an A tier. Yeah, I thought Memory Wipe was a funny episode. Avalanche. Douglas returns in this episode, actually. This SSO features return Douglas after he disappeared at the end of the Bionic Showdown episode. But basically, at the end of the episode, the kids and Davenport end up trapping Douglas in a block of ice, and Davenport sends Douglas in the block of ice to like a facility, like kind of far away, if I remember correctly. But yeah. Avalanche, I did quite enjoy Avalanche. I think that one will go in A tier as well, actually. So yeah, this like later half of season 2 might actually be my least favorite stretch of episodes in the whole show, just because I feel like this whole part of season 2 has a lot of episodes that were like focused on the school and a lot of stuff in the school. And like I said, I don't really enjoy like a lot of the episodes that take place like primarily in the school. And so yeah, but next up we have Adam Up. This episode actually isn't a school centered episode. This is about Adam like duplicating himself with another invention device thing that Davenport made. I quite enjoyed this episode. There's some good funny antics with like all the duplicates of Adam and stuff. I'll put that on D tier as well. Um, Next, we have Llama Drama. D tier, honestly. Yeah, Llama Drama is probably like one of my least favorite episodes of the show. Actually, no, I'll move down to F tier. Yeah, I'll be frank. I'll be honest. I don't like Llama Drama very much at all. Um, the Llama Drama I thought had a pretty weak plot. Um, it's about like the mascot of the school, the wolf, I think it was, like being stolen by like a rival school, and Adam and Chase have to get the school mascot back from the rival school. And then there was a pretty weak subplot as well with like Leo, Bree, and Caitlin, and like a domino competition tournament thing. And yeah, it was just a weak episode in my opinion. I did not enjoy Llama Drive very much at all. Yeah, it's one of the worst episodes of the show in my opinion. But yeah, anyways, next up we have The Haunting of Mission Creek High. This is about a ghost that's supposedly haunting Mission Creek High, hence the name Haunting Mission Creek High. Um, this episode was another kind of weak school episode. I actually just watched this episode this morning. Actually, as of the day I'm filming this, so I watched the episode this morning. I actually didn't really recognize the episode. I didn't remember the episode at all. So I was like, have I never seen this episode before? Like, it felt like I was watching for the first time. I didn't remember it. I was like, this is like the only episode that I've never seen. So I think that might have been the first time that I've ever seen this episode when I watched it this morning. But yeah, The Haunting Mission Creek High. I didn't enjoy it that much, but yeah, I might be okay with putting in D tier. It was like a little bit better than Llama Drama, not much better, but I'll at least put in D tier. It was a little better than Llama Drama, but I didn't enjoy The Haunting Mission Creek High very much at all. So yeah. Um, so we have Perry 2.0. This is where Davenport makes like a robot version of Principal Perry. It was like pretty funny. I'll put in B tier. It was like a solid episode. I enjoyed that episode. It has funny moments. Next up, we have My Little Brother. This is where Chase accidentally shrinks Adam, and he basically takes the shrunk version of and Chase basically like takes the shrunk version of Adam to school. This one has funny moments as well. I'll put this one B tier as well. I enjoyed that one as well. Prank you very much. This episode, obviously, I think If America is actually part of like special event that Disney XD did called Pranksgiving. It was basically a bunch of like prank related episodes, and this episode was part of that event. Prank very much is just about pranks, obviously, and this episode featured another appearance of Leo's grandma. And I wasn't a huge fan of this episode, but I mean, I'm not sure. Yeah, maybe that one got B tier as well. Why not? I think it's better than one C tier, but yeah, it's probably like the very bottom of B tier though. And so we have Twas Mentioned for Christmas. This is a special Christmas episode. I mean, I wasn't a huge fan of this episode. This one probably could C tier. Yeah, I think that episode's just all right. Definitely not the best Christmas episode of any show, really. Next up, we have Trent gets schooled. In this episode, Leo and Chase obviously have to help. Principal Perry tells Leo and Chase that they have to help Trent like study for a test, but then they basically sabotage Trent and they give him a bunch of false, fake information and stuff. They make Trent think that they're helping out. In reality, they're not. But anyways, Trent gets schooled. I'll put this on B tier. That's fine, most of them stuff. No Going Back. This was yeah, that's the word I was going to say. No Going Back. This was the season 2 finale episode, and S tier. Air horn. I don't know. I just like to do like an air horn sound effect. I remember if it's something S tier, but yeah, No Going Back. I should put this one like right under Bank Showdown. I think I want to at least arrange the episodes in S tier, just because those are the episodes I care about the most. I want to say like which episodes I love the most. But yeah, No Going Back was an amazing episode. On this episode, Adam and Chase are forced to expose their belongings to Principal Perry because they have to save Principal Perry. So they use their belongings to save Principal Perry, and they expose their belongings to Principal Perry and stuff. And then also in this episode, Davenport finds out that he like somehow lost everything, like his company, his money, his assets, and stuff. And then at the end of the episode, it was revealed that Douglas was behind, like how Davenport lost everything. And so it's basically revealed that a masked man helped Douglas get out of the block of the ice at the facility. And we basically find out who the masked man is in the next season, the season 3 premiere episode. But yeah, No Going Back was an amazing episode. I love this episode. Oh, and I was about to say, Douglas blows up the lab at the end of this episode, and then a new lab is introduced in the next season. But anyways, next up we have Sink or Swim. This was the season 3 premiere episode, and this is when Leo's actor Tyrell Jackson really starts going through puberty. You can tell he like gets taller and his voice gets deeper and stuff in season 3. But anyways, so yeah, this was the season 3 premiere episode. Like I said, Sink or Swim. This one was a really good episode, but I'm not sure it was like an S tier worthy episode. I really enjoyed it, but I'm not sure if it was really like an S tier worthy episode, honestly. But I'll put Sink or Swim in A tier. I did really enjoy it, but I think I enjoyed all the episodes in S tier more. But anyways, but yeah, it was a really strong premiere episode. Just not the best episode. But anyways, yeah, this episode Douglas basically captures Adam, Brienne, Chase, and the masked man that saved that like basically saved Douglas from the block of ice. They got Douglas out of the block of ice, and then the season 2 finale episode. In this episode, that masked man was revealed to be a man named Victor Crane, or just Crane for short. And Crane basically becomes like the main villain in season 3, and he was a really good villain. And yeah, the Jet Wing is next. This episode is about like the gang trying to raise money for a new lab, so they can get their lab back. The Jet Wing, I enjoyed this episode. It wasn't the best episode, but I'll put it in B tier. I think it's better than the episodes in C tier and stuff. But yeah, next up we have Mission Creek High. This is the episode that introduced the new lab, and this episode Principal Perry wants to join Adam Reed Chase on a mission, and so they basically fake a mission. They take her to the lab. She just doesn't know it's the lab and stuff, and it's pretty funny. I think this one will also go on B tier. I enjoyed that one. Next up we have Zip It. This episode introduces Tech Town, which is a store in the mall, the Mission Creek Mall. Mission Creek is the name of the place that the show's set in, but this episode introduced Tech Town, which is a place in the Mission Creek Mall that Chase and Bree start working at, or Bree and Chase, whatever you want to call it. I don't know what happened. I was gonna say, I enjoyed this episode. It wasn't the best episode. Actually, I'll put this one C tier. It wasn't the best episode. It was like an alright episode. I kind of enjoyed it, but it was just alright. Not so smart. This episode was about Adam and Chase made a video, and then that video like accidentally gets like sent to phones in the tech house or something like that, and they have to keep their box from getting exposed. Or no, I think I just messed up the plot. I think just remember the actual plot of this episode was Adam and Chase do take a video that shows their bionics, but the phone that they take the video on accidentally gets left in the Tech Town store, and they have to retrieve it so that their bionics are exposed and stuff. I enjoyed this episode. I think it'll be another B tier episode. Scramble the Orbs. This one's about Liam making an invention of his own called Tack Orbs. I think it's another B tier episode. I thought it was a solid episode. It was pretty good. Principal from Another Planet. I kind of want to stop like describing each episode because I feel like that's taking too long. But Principal from Another Planet is pretty good. That'll be another B tier episode. I enjoy the episodes. That's some fun moments in it. Taken. This episode was another appearance from Douglas and Crane. But I forgot to say at the end of the Sink or Swim season 3 premiere episode, at the end of the season 3 premiere episode Sink or Swim, Douglas kind of feels like Crane is taking stuff too far, and we kind of start to see Douglas like start to like become good at the end of the season 3 premiere episode because he just thinks that Crane is taking things too far, and Crane says he wants to destroy Anna Bree and Chase, but Douglas says like I didn't want to destroy Anna Bree and Chase, I just want to capture them. But Crane is like I want to destroy them, and then that's when Douglas started to think maybe he doesn't want to be evil anymore. And yeah, but Taken, I did enjoy this episode. Douglas almost kills Crane at the end of the episode, but then Crane gets away. But yeah, I'll put Taken in A tier. Actually, I did enjoy that episode, and yeah, I'll go there. 3 minus Bree, and this episode was a pretty dramatic episode. Not in a bad way or anything, but it was because Bree actually destroys her bionic chip in this episode because she doesn't want to. She wants to be able to do anything she wants. She wants to have a normal life, so she's like, "Oh, let's destroy my chips. I don't bionic anymore, so I can have a normal life." This episode was really good as well. I'll put this one in A tier as well. And yeah, Which Father Knows Best. This episode was basically a direct continuation. 3 minus Bree. 3 minus Bree and Which Father Knows Best. It was kind of like a 2-part of 1 hour thing, but like but like not exactly, because it was two separate episodes. The two episodes just kind of connected. Like Which Father Knows Best was basically like a direct continuation of 3 - 3. It just wasn't like a 2 part or 1 hour episode. It was separate episodes, but the episodes were kind of connected. I definitely enjoyed this episode as well. This one also go in A tier, and yeah, Bree does get her balance back in this episode, and at the end of this episode, Davenport accepts Douglas into the um, into their family again, because he's realized that Douglas has become good again, and Davenport basically lets Douglas stay with the family in the house for a little while, and um, yeah, so at the end of this episode, Douglas basically becomes part of the gang, and Douglas is basically good now, and yeah. Cyborg Shark Attack. This episode is alright. It's probably one stage here. I didn't really enjoy the episode that much. Come on, I start going faster because this video will be too long. It's another 2 part 1 hour episode. You posted what? S tier. You posted what was another amazing 2 part 1 hour episode. The Adam Rain Chase's bionics are exposed in this episode, and in this episode introduces Crane's new assistant S1, which we later found out. We later find out that S1 was the very first bionic soldier that Crane made, and he ended up making a bunch of other bionic soldiers, but we'll get into that in a minute. Armed and Dangerous was kind of like a continuation. You posted what? It was like a special agent guy. He's like the leader of Adam Rain Chase now, but then Davenport ends up becoming leader at the end of the episode. I'll put this one in here. I enjoyed that one. Alien Gladiators. Alien Gladiators was about the gang going to like a convention for a series of movies called Alien Gladiators. Alien Gladiators was like an alright episode. I wasn't like a huge fan of it. I'll go and see it here. Brother Battle. This is about Adam and Chase fighting, and they get new mechs and stuff. Douglas unlocks new abilities for Adam and Chase in this episode. Adam gets like a pressurized lung capacity, where he can like blow like really strong winds, and then Chase's new ability is called Laser Bow. It's like a big laser staff stick thing that he has now, and I enjoyed this episode. For Brother Battle and Beat. Here's a great episode. Spike Fright. This was season 3's Spike episode, Spike Commando app. Spike Fright, it was alright. I wasn't a huge fan of the episode, but the one C tier as well. Face Off. Face Off was a fun episode. It's about like Bree basically putting on a cyber mask and cyber cloak to look like Principal Perry for a prank that Bree and Chase are pulling on Adam, but then it kind of backfires, goes wrong and stuff. And I'll put this one in A tier, actually. I really enjoyed that episode. It was a funny episode. Merry Glitchmas. This was the second and final Christmas episode, I think. I think I enjoyed this Christmas episode more than the first Christmas episode. I think I'll put this one in B. It was a solid episode. I kind of enjoyed it. Rise of the Secret Soldiers, another amazing 2-part 1 hour episode. This one's going to be another S tier. Yeah, this episode is when Crane's whole bionic army is revealed. And I forgot to say, and the You Posted What 2-part 1 hour special, Leo actually gets bionics. He gets like a bionic arm because his arm accidentally gets crushed on a ceiling beam, and he almost like lost his arm. But Douglas was going to let that happen, so Douglas put bionics in Leo's arm to like save his arm. And yeah, Leo got bionics. But yeah, Rise of the Secret Soldiers was another amazing 2-part 1 hour special episode, and yeah, it's basically about the gang going up against Crane and his big bionic army of soldiers, and the end of defeating Crane at the end of the episode, he basically gets like shot into the sky, and he disappears and seemingly dies. I say seemingly because he actually returns a bit later in the show, which we'll get to in a little bit. Yeah, next we have Bionic House Party. This episode basically dealt with the aftermath of the Rise of Secret Soldiers. The gang was basically assigned what they wanted to do with the soldiers and stuff. But this one features solid, so I enjoyed it. Basically, at the end of Bionic House Party, the Bionic Academy was introduced. Downpour Bionic Academy, which basically became the main setting of the show in season 4. The Bionic Island, or Bionic Academy, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, first the Bionic Academy is next. This is the very first appearance of the Bionic Academy, or Bionic Island, whatever you want to call it. This one also going to be tier. I enjoyed that episode as well. Adam Steps Up. That's actually the last appearance of like the Davenport house in the show, or like the interior of the house. We do get one last appearance of the lab in the very last episode, the series finale episode. But yeah, this will be another B tier episode. I guess it was a solid episode. Unauthorized Mission. another solid B tier episode. It's just a stretch of like solid B tier episodes for me. I forgot to say, I think it was in Rise of Secret Soldiers we were introduced to um, like one of the most prominent soldiers, S3. Then first day of Bionic Academy, S3's name was changed to Sebastian. Well, his name to be Sebastian. And then we're introduced to two like recurring characters, two kids that are part of like the Bionic Soldier Army, Bob and Spin. And so now we get into season 4, and season 4, of course, changed it up a little bit because season 4 was called Lab Rats Bionic Island, not just Lab Rats. It mainly entirely focused on this new location, the Bionic Island or Bionic Academy, whatever you want to call it. And that actually happens a lot with like Disney Jones and the XD shows, where like in the last season, the show, the location and setting has changed and stuff, and it kind of feels like a whole different show. Some other examples include like the last season of Hannah Montana, the family moved to a different house, and then even the show changed Hannah Montana forever. Another example is and Kicking It. In last season of Kicking It, the dojo is changed. Like the dojo looks different and stuff, and the mall on the show looks different and stuff. But I felt like that whole last season of Kicking It was like unneeded. Like the season 3 finale of Kicking It felt like a series finale. But anyways, we're not talking about Kicking It this year. We're talking about Lab Rats. Then also in last season of Ant Farm, they changed the setting from regular school to like a boarding school. The kids start going to a boarding school in the last season of Ant Farm. And then last season of Austin Alley, they changed the Sonic Boom Music Store to Music Factory, the A&E Music Factory. And that's just a few examples of like Disney Channel, Disney XD shows that like change the setting or location or whatever in the last season. But anyways, back to ranking the episode of Lab Rats. We have the season 4 premiere of Bionic Rebellion. This is a very good episode. Actually, I think I'll put this one next year as well. The Lab Rats just has a lot of really good like two-part or 1 hour episodes. Bionic Rebellion was very good, and Sebastian is defeated at the end of this episode and he goes to jail along with Lexington Ting and stuff. And left behind this episode, Spin and Bob get left behind when Adam Ray and Chase take some of the soldiers and kids and stuff to the mainland. This was another B tier solid episode. Under Siege, I enjoyed that episode. I kind of just want to quickly rank all the rest of these episodes. I don't really want to describe the episodes anymore, to be honest. But Under Siege, I enjoyed this episode. It's pretty good. I'll put that on A tier. Bionic Dog, C tier, honestly. I wasn't a huge fan of the episode. Mission Mania, A tier. I enjoyed Mission Mania. It was a good episode. This episode, Mission Mania, actually has the last appearance of Spin. Spin basically disappears from the show for some reason. He wasn't even mentioned at all after this episode. He didn't appear in any episode after this one because I think from America, I heard that the actor who played Spin, Max Charles, I think was the actor's name, he kind of got busy with like other projects, like other movies and shows and stuff. So he had to leave Lab Rats because he got busy with other projects and stuff. But anyways, Simulation Manipulation, B tier, was a pretty solid episode. Forbidden Hero, I quite enjoy this episode. I'll do A tier for that one. Spider Island, that's not a solid B tier episode. I'm kind of just trying to quickly go through all the rest of these. Spike versus Spike Cat, this was the last like Commando App Spike episode. This one I probably enjoyed more than the season 3 Spike episode. Which where did I put that episode? The Spike episode of season 3. Where was it? And C tier. I put Spike Fright, the season 3 Spike episode on C tier. Spike vs. Spike Cat, I'll put B tier. Right there. Lab Rats vs. Mighty Med. This is a Lab Rats and Mighty Med crossover episode, which in my opinion, this is like the only time that Lab Rats and Mighty Med cast had to meet. They didn't need to make that whole like Elite Four spin-off show, in my opinion. But the Lab Rats vs. Mighty Med crossover was a very good crossover. Actually, I'll put an A tier. I like the crossover quite a bit. Space Elevator. This is another solid B tier episode. Leo actually gets a bionic leg in this episode because his leg gets crushed by the space elevator, the titular thing in the episode, the thing that the title of the episode is named after. In this episode, Leo gets a bionic leg, so now he has a bionic arm and a bionic leg. But Leo just never has like a bionic chip, like Adam Bray and Chase do, and all the soldiers and stuff. We have another 2-parter here, Bionic Action Hero. Something gonna be another S tier episode. My Action Hero was another really great 2-part 1 hour episode. I quite enjoyed that one. One of Us was a very good episode in my opinion. Gonna put an A tier. I just realized, by the way, I forgot to say, I've heard a lot of people think that season 4 was the worst season of Lab Rats because I don't think a lot of people really liked the whole like Bionic Island, Bionic Academy setting that much. A lot of people preferred um, like when the whole like Bionic Island thing started. A lot of people missed all the antics that the game got into at like school and stuff and in Mission Creek and stuff. But I really liked the whole setting of the Bionic Academy, Bionic Island. I thought it was a pretty cool setting. So yeah. Anyways, next up we have Bob Zombie. Um, this one was uh, this was an alright episode. I'll probably put this on C tier. I wasn't a huge fan of that episode. Human Eddie. This one featured the return of Eddie because Eddie hadn't been seen since season 3 before this episode. Basically, get Davenport basically makes human version of Eddie, and the human version of Eddie is actually played by the same actor that voiced the regular Eddie. Will Forte was the actor's name. It was a pretty good, so a solid episode. It's really good to see Eddie again one last time because it's the last appearance of Eddie. So yeah, B tier. The Curse of the Screaming Skull. This was another like Halloween kind of episode. It was like a scary Halloween type episode. Yeah, another solid B tier one. Labyrinth's on the Edge, another 2-part, 1-hour episode. Yeah, I feel like I feel obligated to put all 2 parts in S tier, honestly. Yeah, Labyrinth's on the Edge was another very good episode. Ultimate Tailgate Challenge, C tier. It was an alright episode. I didn't care for that episode. And then there are 4. This episode introduces the 4th Bionic sibling, Daniel. Douglas reveals that he made a 4th Bionic sibling named Daniel. And Daniel was a cool kid. He's a cool guy and all. He's like a cool character and all, but I feel like Daniel is just a character they decided to just like shoehorn in the last couple episodes. I feel like they're probably thinking we want to introduce one more new character before the show ends. Why don't we introduce a new Bionic sibling? Um, I just feel like it just felt like Daniel was just kind of like shoehorned into these last couple episodes of the show, and um, yeah, he's like I said, he's a cool character, and I always feel like it's kind of like shoehorned. And I feel like it would have been better if Daniel was maybe introduced a little earlier, like maybe like a little earlier, like maybe like halfway through the season, like halfway through the last season. Maybe if he was introduced like halfway through the last season at least, but no, he was introduced in like one of the last episodes of the show. So yeah, but I'll put this one feature. It's a solid episode. Space Colony, another 2-parter. S tier. Space Colony was amazing episode. This episode actually featured the return of Crane, and Crane actually died at the end of this episode, and Adam almost died in this episode as well. Is in like a suit, like heading to a device that Crane set to like be destroyed, or that Crane sent to like destroy the Earth. But then Adam uh, destroyed the device while he was in the suit. And, he like blacked out for a few minutes. So Adam almost died in that episode, which is kind of dark actually for Disney show. But yeah. Then we have the series 9 episode, The Vanishing. S tier, like come on now. We all know that all the 2-parter, 1-hour episodes are going in S tier, like come on now. So yeah, The Vanishing. Marcus actually returned in this episode, and they defeat Marcus once for all at the end of the episode. And yeah, Giselle, the protagonist from the Bionic Action Hero 2-part episode, she actually rebuilt Marcus, and that led to The Vanishing. Giselle and Marcus are kind of like the final villains of the series, basically. And they go back to the old lab from Mission Creek at the end of the episode. Well, lab from season 3, obviously they couldn't go back to the original lab from the first 2 seasons because that lab was destroyed. It was blown up by Douglas. But yeah, anyways, you know what I mean. But the old lab, meaning the lab from season 3, the lab from Mission Creek. Anyways, yeah, it was a good series finale episode. At the very end of the episode, Davenport told the gang Adam Green, Chase, and Leo they're splitting them up. Like he wanted 2 of them to go back to the island, the Bionic island, and oversee this transition. He said, and then the other 2 would join a new team that he was forming, which led into the spinoff show Lab Rats Elite Force. So it's basically a combined crossover spinoff of Lab Rats and Mighty Med. The Elite Force is basically a team that's comprised of kids from Lab Rats and Mighty Med. Yeah. Um, but Lab Rats Elite Force, I wasn't really a huge fan of that show. It's kind of lame, honestly. I kind of feel like Lab Rats and Mighty Med should have been kept separate. Like Mighty Med should have just had its own separate ending. Like Mighty Med only had 2 seasons before the Elite Force spinoff happened. I think if Elite Force hadn't happened, then Mighty Med would have gotten to season 3. But then I'm not sure what the ending of Lab Rats would have looked like if Elite Force didn't happen. I'm just not sure. But yeah. Anyways, But yeah, I guess pretty much it. This is my ranking of all Lab Rats episodes. I tried to go kind of fast, but I'm not sure how long this episode ended up being. I'll see how long it ended up being when I've stopped filming this video. But anyways, this is my ranking of all the episodes of Lab Rats, and yeah, that's basically it. This video. Of course, if you enjoy this video, of course, please like, comment, and subscribe, and of course, ring the bell so you can find any new videos. And yeah, I hope you enjoy this video, and of course, see you next time. Peace.